Yeah, I mean, in a sense, I suppose you could say it's a sequel in the sense that it is in the same world, and it takes place kind of, it picks up loosely some of the threads from the trilogy, and some characters are shared between the two. But it's not a sequel in the sense that the central characters aren't the same. There are new central characters, or some of the central characters are kind of secondary ones who appeared in the trilogy. And likewise, a couple of the secondary characters in the trilogy are the kind of primary ones in this. So it shares characters, but it's not a lead-on with the exact same plot.
It's a standalone novel. Compared to writing a trilogy, did you find that gave you a bit more freedom? Did you enjoy it more?
I'm starting to at the end. I think the idea always was, the advantage that standalone gives you is that you kind of, obviously when you get to the end you can revise it en masse and kind of, you know, change things at the start. I mean, the big problem with the trilogy is if you're publishing the books one at a time and the first book's going to be published before you finish the last, is you're kind of stuck with whatever rubbish you put in the first book, and if you change your mind halfway through the third and think, oh, I know what I should have done, the sword should have been a magic sword, not a normal sword. If you think that, it's too late, you're stuck. The advantage I had with the trilogy was I had years to kind of think about it. There were a lot of ideas that had been sort of brewing up for a very long time, so in the end it came out quite, I didn't have a big problem in that sense, but with the standalone that I had to kind of come up with in a relatively short turnaround, I thought a single book would be helpful. And as a result I kind of plunged through quite quickly to get to the end and thought I'd revise it all en masse. And the result has been I've given myself an awful lot of work to do at the end, unfortunately. But it'll be great.
So is there anything you would go back and change if you could rewrite the first book of your trilogy again?
I think there are always things you would change, and probably the further away things go into the past, the more you start to think that you wrote something pretty poor. Because your own opinions change and you kind of, I guess you get more skilled, and also things move on as well, and books, you know, are to a degree a product of their time. So inevitably I think there are things you'd like to change, and also a first book I think you are improving, I would hope, you're improving steadily, and so I think when I was writing the third book I was looking back at the first and thinking, you know, there are things that...
Was that just because of all the terrible violence and torture?
Well, that too, yeah, absolutely. I think I'm pleased with the overall shape of it, but with time you start to realise things you might have done better, or things you could have done differently, or things you perhaps missed, which is a nice feeling in a sense, because it means that, you know, there are improvements to make and that you can always be getting better. So I think you'll always feel a little bit cringy about old books, but they're still great books. I advise you to buy them.